Welcome to video 3 on the Particle Pal Pro. In this video we're going to be running through the sensor display and the sensor interaction with the software. We'll be covering the use of the software specifically with the 3 internal sensors. Firstly, let's start by opening up the software. When the software is open, we're going to begin by selecting the asset browser. When the asset browser opens, select the asset we would like to look at. Click View Selected when happy with the selected test. When the results are loaded, we can analyze these by looking at each individual sensor. Here we have the water content. As you can see, the relative humidity is on the left-hand side and the oil temperature is on the right-hand side. We can go in-depth into this graph by double-clicking on the graph itself. As we double-click into the graph, we can see again the relative humidity in percentages on the left-hand side, and the oil temperature in degrees Celsius is on the right-hand side. The graph is there mainly for detailing information in larger view. Let's back out of the water content graph by clicking on Close. If you can see where the cursor is, we have an oil life section. We can see here the tan delta number across the top bar. By double-clicking on the oil life section, we enter the oil life window, which goes into more detail. We can see on the left there is an approximate oil life used as a percentage readout. Down below we can see the spider infographic displaying all the different values. We can actually interact with the spider graph by selecting on different oil types. As you can see, as we click through various oil types, the bars are changing as severity differs. The graph on the right displays the tan delta number against the time. This is specifically for monitoring the trend. We will now close this and move on to our final sensor. Here we have the particle analysis section. As you can see, it's the largest of the 3 displays. If you follow the cursor, the graph is reactive to the cursor's location. As I go from left to right, you can see it tracking along. You can also see the moisture content, cleanliness classes, and compensated particle values changing in sync with the location of the graph time. What we can also do, which is very useful, is to average the results by clicking down and dragging across. The values in all of this section now, which is highlighted, is an average of all of the information from those timed tests. If we double click on the graph, it takes us to the imaging section of the particle counter. Here we can see a displayed image from the particle counter itself. This is from one individual test. On the left hand side we have all of the raw data, which includes the particles, bubbles, sliding wear, cutting wear, fibre wear and fatigue wear. Across the bottom we have the thumbnails of each test, and there's one image per test. We can use the zoom function to look into one test in particular in more detail. As you can see, there is particulate, debris, water, bubbles. We can zoom in by left clicking. We can zoom even further by right-clicking again and selecting where we want to zoom. By clicking down and zooming in, we can now focus on one key particle. Using the measuring line, we can drag it across and measure the particle in micron sizes. We can do that with as many particles as we like across the image. To clear this, we click right again and clear line. We can see here that there is an actual bubble by the indication that light is passing through the center of the particle. We know that the particle counter has actually noted that this is a bubble, and we can ignore it from the results.